driving and to use caution when talking on the cell phone. Also today, while kids are at school, many families will be working on cleaning up. The American Red Cross will be back out today focusing on neighborhoods heavily impacted by yesterday's floodwaters. The Red Cross started sending out crews last night. On 33rd Avenue in Gulfport, volunteers supplied water and cleanup kits for anyone in need. A lot of homes in that area were severely flooded, and residents couldn't even get to their homes without going waist deep in water. That's exactly what the American Red Cross, or why they showed up. And they didn't just provide physical aid, they also gave emotional support for the victims.
We're seeing a lot of the streets, there's a lot of debris still on the road, there's a lot of standing water still on the road, so our vehicles can't make it through that standing water, so we're getting as close to those communities and those streets that have been affected to make sure that we get those kits to those folks.
And Doug Walker, by the way, will join us live in Gulfport this morning as Red Cross crews again begin to head out and help those in need. WLOX's Doug Walker joins us live from Gulfport with more on what's next as the Red Cross continues to help out those who are affected. Good morning, Doug.
Oh, good morning, Megan and Rhonda. As Tommy so aptly put it, it is time to dry out. A deluge yesterday up and down the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Here where I'm standing, 28th Street and Highway 49 in Gulfport, about 5 inches of rain in 1 hour. In fact, the kangaroo you see behind me, underwater the entire parking lot yesterday afternoon. There's a puddle right over there you can possibly see, still the remnants of the rain. And Gulfport wasn't the only places with problems. Ocean Springs road closures. Pascagoula had some flooding issues. Several people had to be rescued from their homes in Moss Point, the disabled and elderly. In Biloxi, near the Kroc Center, the Salvation Army Kroc Center at Bellman and Howard, about 2 feet of water covering the road. Now, obviously, with that amount of rain in that short a time, there are going to be flooding issues. But as always is the case, the Red Cross steps in to help. Joining me now, Martha Duval with the Red Cross. When did you get the call yesterday, and what are you doing today?
It was yesterday afternoon. We got the call from Rupert Lacey, our EMA director here in Harrison County. We had 3 trucks rolling in the heaviest impacted neighborhoods in Gulfport yesterday. We will again have trucks in the neighborhoods today. We'll also have disaster action teams meeting starting at 7:30 this morning, client caseworkers and Red Cross volunteers just coming out as they always do.
Now, what are in those cleanup kits? I mean, obviously, I would assume mops, towels, things of that nature.
Cleanup type mops, disinfectant supplies, things like that, rags, gloves, masks, things like that.
Any idea how many people may have been impacted by the flooding yesterday up and down the coast? Have you got any indication of that so far?
I would say that yesterday, the 3 trucks that we had out and about, we only actually handed out about a dozen kits because some of the neighborhoods we were rolling into were still inundated with water. So we're thinking that we'll hand out more today. I do want to stress that we're only doing mobile distribution, and that's to ensure that the clients who need the supplies, who are in those heaviest impacted areas, are the people who are actually getting the supplies. So if your neighborhood was impacted, more than likely you will see us in your neighborhood today.
All right, Martha Duval with the Red Cross, thank you very much for joining us. Now, coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to be talking with a city official from Gulfport, the Public Works Director, about what happened yesterday. Can anything be done to stop this kind of massive flooding when we get this amount of rain? Reporting live in Gulfport, Doug Walker for Good Morning Mississippi.
City crews in Gulfport are getting ready to head out to start cleaning up the mess left behind by the flash floods. We are seeing some areas, though, starting to dry out already. WLOX's Doug Walker joins us live from Gulfport with the latest. Doug?
Well, good morning, folks. Yes, you hit the nail on the head, drying out and cleaning up the mess. Here at the intersection of Highway 49 and 28th Street in Gulfport, an estimated 5 inches of rain in 1 hour. The Kangaroo gas station you see behind me, the parking lot underwater yesterday. Several other businesses, parking lots were underwater. And Gulfport wasn't the only place with problems. Pascagoula Street flooding, Ocean Springs Street flooding. A few people had to be evacuated from their homes along Rose Drive and Moss Point. And in Biloxi near the Kroc Center Salvation Army Community Center on Bellman and Howard, about 2 feet of water covering the road. Now, when there's trouble, the Red Cross always springs into action. Joining me now, Martha Duval with the Red Cross. Tell me, what are you folks doing today to help those who may have suffered some damage because of the flooding?
We'll be back rolling out into the heavily impacted neighborhoods as we were yesterday. We're providing cleanup kits to those who were impacted. We'll also have disaster action team members out along with client caseworkers.
Now, this is mobile help, correct? I mean, basically, you're going to the problem areas to help the people with problems. They don't need to come to you.
Exactly. We will have our trucks rolling into the areas that were impacted the most with flooding.
How many volunteers do you think are going to be involved in this mission today? I mean, obviously you have a network of volunteers that jump into action at a moment's notice. How many volunteers will be out today, you think?
I would say dozens, because it is a local chapter response. So I would say at least 2 dozen.
Now, obviously, this stuff costs money. It costs money for supplies. So if people want to help donate to the Red Cross, what can they do to help?
Feel free to either text 90999 to Red Cross, or you can come into the local office, any of our local offices in South Mississippi, or you can mail in a check to our local office.
All right, Martha Duval with the Red Cross, thank you very much for helping us. And thank you, the Red Cross, for everything they do to help the victims of these flooding. And of course, later on today, we'll be talking with public works directors up and down the coast about what happened, why, and can anything be done to prevent such flooding in the future. Reported live in Gulfports, Doug Walker for Good Morning Mississippi.
Thank you, Doug. And, as Doug mentioned, people, of course, are preparing to clean up the mess left